Okay. Right, so this will just give you an idea of how sine and cosine rule works. It's not like, I mean, you can get everything from this, as in you can adapt this and extrapolate this and have everything. But obviously, if I was teaching you this in class, I would go into more detail. So the sine rule in the formula and tables book says A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. Sorry, it's really slow. So you use the sine rule most of the time. You only use the cosine rule in kind of very specific circumstances. Hang on. Sorry, I'm going to shut this down. It's just completely jammed there. Just bear with me a second. Okay, see if this works. Okay, so it's written like that. It's kind of like a three-way equation, but you only ever use two of them at a time. Okay, because you can't, there's no such thing as an equation with two sets of equals in it. So you either do A with B, or you do B with C, or you do A with C, but you don't do all three together. Okay, so if I just scroll down, so like I said, cosine rule is used in less circumstances than sine rule. Okay, so cosine rule is used when you have all three sides of a triangle, or when you have two sides and the angle in between. Okay, and then you use sine rule in like all other circumstances. Yeah, so if we look at this triangle here, if I could zoom in. So do we have all three sides? No, we don't. We have the 12, we have sort of the x, and there's nothing here. Okay, so definitely don't have all three sides. Do we have two sides and the angle in between? No, we don't. We have two sides, but the angle in between those two sides would be this one here, and we don't have that one. Okay, so we can then decide that this is not a cosine rule, which means it has to be a sine rule. Okay, so then you just pick. We'll say this one is A, so that means the angle opposite is capital A, and we'll call x B, which means the angle opposite is capital B. And you just sub that in, so it's 12 over sine 30 equals x over sine 50, and so take this and bring it up here, so we get 12 sine 50 over sine 30, that's x, and it says in the question that they want, oh sorry, can't find my calculator, there it is. It says in the question that they want two decimal places, so 12 sine 50 over sine 30. I am getting to two decimal places. I'm getting 18.39. There's no units, so 18.39. Okay, and that's how you use the sine rule. Okay, so the lowercase a is the side opposite the uppercase A. The uppercase A is the angle. So these ones here, they're angles. Okay, and this one. Those ones there are sides. Okay, and lowercase a, as in the side A, has to be opposite the angle A, and the side B has to be opposite the angle B. Just sub in, make sure you've only one unknown, obviously that makes it solvable, cross multiply, and that's it. Cosine rule is a little bit trickier just because it's a tougher rule, as in there's more to it, I suppose. So this is the cosine rule, which is on the same page of the table book as all the other stuff. This is taught weird in books. I don't like the way this is taught in books. You always start here. So a bit like in Pythagoras, you know, the way the hypotenuse squared is always isolated. The a squared is always isolated in the cosine rule. And what you are isolating is the side opposite the angle. Okay, so that becomes your A. Okay, so if we look at this one, there's the angle. The side opposite that is X. So we will isolate X. Yeah? The other two then, it's completely up to you. Okay, we'll make 8B and we'll make 10C. But if you went the other way, that's absolutely fine. Okay, and if you always make the A the side opposite the angle, you'll always get it right. Okay, so if we sub in, we're getting x squared equals 8 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 8 times 10, and then the cos. So same as in the sine rule, the lowercase a and the uppercase a are opposite each other. Okay, the lowercase a being the side and the uppercase a being the angle, but they're opposite each other. So the angle in this case is 50 degrees. Yeah? So tidy up a bit more. X squared equals 64 plus 100. Now this thing here, see, like, it's different color, from here over to here, that's one big product. It's one big multiplication. So you have to make sure you keep it separate. Like, you kind of have to do the product first before you combine it with the 64 or the 100. Okay, so that is minus 2 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 10 multiplied by the cos of 50. They're all just one big thing. So I'm going to do that now. Multiplied by 8e multiplied by minus 2. So when I do that, I'm getting minus 102.8460175. So again, I'm conscious to not drop decimal places in the middle of a question, so I'm going to keep that as awkward as it is. So now that that entire product has been combined, I can do 64 plus 100 minus that answer, I think. Oh no, I've definitely done something wrong. Oh, I know what I did. Sorry, don't mind me. Okay. So, 8, 9, 10, that costs 50. Sorry. Okay. So 64 plus 100 minus 102.8460175, and I get x squared equals 61.1539825, and then I don't want the x squared, so I'm going to take the square root of that. They would like the answer to 2 decimal places, so to 2 decimal places I'm getting 7.82 for x. And that's how you do the cosine rule. Yeah? I might like grab a few. So this is in your OneNote, you know, the extra maths fun OneNote. So I might just, where is it? I can just grab a few questions here, I think. Yeah, so there's a few on the sine rule. Sorry, I can't find anything today. Here it is. So there's a few sine rule questions. And then if I go back in, I'll just add a few cosine rule questions as well. I think this is still sine rule. Cosine rule. Okay, I'll just grab a few here. This is out of a Leaving Cert book, so there's like plenty of them. But yeah, just a few so you can try. I'll take a few of these as well. I like the look of that pyramid question. I don't know what it's about, but we'll throw that in just so you can, if you want to have a go. Just make sure it doesn't continue. No. So yeah, so that's it. So that's how you do the sine rule. That's how you do the cosine rule, and there's a couple of practice questions if you want them.